Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we'll go through live order flow here using Bookmap. We even take live positions in here. They are in demo paper trading mode, and it is live forward-looking analysis as well. And we do this because with tools for order flow and understanding order flow, you can do that. That is the edge that is provided via order flow. So a few different things still going on over here at Bookmap. We have 50% off our market by order bundle here, the MBO bundle, for 50% off for your first month. If you guys haven't heard about this and what MBO is, well, it's a pretty amazing thing offered from the CME, which typically before in the past it was market by price, meaning each price level you could see the amount of liquidity at each price level, but you didn't know the number of orders per price level, and now you do. Now they've had that for I don't know, about 5 years or so. However, due to that, we can understand stop transactions, and we can also identify transactions of iceberg orders by larger players. That is a couple of the different indicators that you get in this MBO bundle. The most popular ones. There's also access to, or you'll get access to the entire suite of algos for the Market Pulse tool. And there's also the Trader Map Pro tool. You can filter your heat map in Bookmap, and also the liquidity tracker. So if you're interested in this, this is how you can get it. Go to bookmap.com, and you'll click on it here right off the top. You can see it here, claim the deal now, and you'll add a coupon code. You'll come down here, the coupon code instructions are here, how to claim. Okay, you go to the Bookmap Marketplace, you'll copy the coupon code here, and then you'll put that into the checkout when you check out. Okay, so anyway, if you're interested in that, this is the time to try it. If you haven't tried it before, try it for a month. See if it is something that resonates with you. This is one of our most popular add-ons because it offers pretty incredible transparency into the markets, like nothing else I've ever seen. Not only can you understand the order flow, you can understand the order types that are transacting, and that's pretty amazing. You can see stops, stop runs, transacting right in front of you. You can verify that, and you can also see where larger players are getting filled with their icebergs. How much was it fully executed? Did they cancel it? Is it still live in the market? Are there several icebergs at one price level? It's pretty amazing transparency. So anyway, give it a shot if you like. Also, our December's Blue Jacket competition, if you're interested in that, you can scan the code here. You can win 3 months of Global Plus, stocks or futures data, and also 1 month of Discord Nitro. And then also today's the last day of our 12 days of trading tips. This has been a really fun campaign, and let me show you where you can go for that. And it's here on. Okay, just go over here to your 12 days trading, and yep, you'll see it in here. So here's the latest one here. So this one is done by Charles, who just streamed with us just a few minutes ago. He stopped at 10 a.m. Eastern. And he did a great little video here, so check it out. And little tips and tricks. It's an advent calendar in here that we kind of put together, and each day a different educator put in their let's put it in gallery, and put in, and here's mine actually from yesterday. Here's Doug's from Saturday, etc. So we got 12 different trading tips from all these different great educators in here from the Bookmap team. Okay, so check it out, and you'll have to come over to our Discord channel for that, but you'll see it there, and you can get it. All right, I think that's about it. Oh, disclosures, got to go through that. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. And there's something that I want to cover with you guys immediately here. Let's see here. One has any questions off the bat here? It's very odd today. It looks like a lot of people are off for a week. Okay, good morning, Alois. Alois, are you seeing the channel correctly over in Discord? It's, yeah, something seems to be off, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, I see you in there now. Okay, so I think what seems to be off is everybody. All right. Anyway, that's fine. Everyone deserves a long vacation here, and the markets are going to be pretty quiet this week. Well, actually, we never know about that. There can be a lot of price movement at these times as well, when there's kind of low liquidity. It's a lot easier to move price. Anyway, guys, this is a great opportunity to cover some very, very interesting things here for you. Like, for example, this is a brand new version of Bookmap. This is an alpha version. You guys do not have access to it yet, but I will be giving it to you soon. And in fact, that was part of the 12 days of Christmas or 12 days of trading campaign that we did that I covered in here about this is a game changer in here. What we're looking at is this is the NQ, and I can zoom out and I can show you what the NQ looks like for back to 2000. I'll just keep going here. Hold on. Now this is a continuous contract in here. Here we're back in 2023 of May or October. I'm sorry, that's November. Yeah, we can see I can go back even more. I think up to like 3 years of data in Bookmap. This is amazing. We've been wanting to work. Well, we've been working on this for a long time, it's not perfect yet, but we're still working on it. Look at the order flow in here. It's amazing. We'll be able to see more soon, and you can see look down here at this just below the 2100 here, and the swing down here. Someone's in there with 300 contracts or so, right? That's what it looks like. There you go, right there. Off the bat. Pretty amazing stuff, and a much bigger picture of what's going on now. The NQ is pretty thin, as we know, but the ES will look a little bit better. But let's just zoom in here and let's take a look at the NQ and put some pieces together. Yeah. You're right. You're totally spot on, Alois. People are going to love this. In fact, let's just look at the swing here, and we're getting a reaction right off of it here. Okay, this is what I mean by in terms of like trading opportunities in here. I'll send this to my demo account, or my I'll send it to my Rhythmic. Okay, and then yeah, and then do I have it all set up here? Kind of missed the move already on this. Okay, as a quick scalp. Got my trading statistics set up now. Okay, that's good. So this will go to my web journal. Okay, and let me see here, my multi-account. Okay, I get that set up as well. It will select this one: 1 lot, 2 lot, 4 lot. So I'll be sending one trade here off of the chart will actually equal. I'll be spinning into multiple accounts. This is our multi-account trade copier. I will be able to spin or send 2 lots to another account, and then 4 lots to another account after that. All right, so anyway, let's just take a look here and see what is going on, and do we see anything kind of interesting here so far? Just not really, actually. We just traded into that lower swing here on the higher time frame. If we go back and take a look here, I just love this new thing. So here's the swing here, and it's the figure as well. 21,500. All right, so that's where we just tested, and we seem to be bouncing from it right now. Okay, all right, so we have our reaction from the buy side here, but this is something right off the bat I wanted to show you guys that I think is pretty amazing. We've been covering this for years about supply and demand, understanding supply and demand from the aggressors. Okay, the dots in here. Okay, the red dots are market sell orders. The green dots are market buy orders. Okay, and we can understand these transactions in here. Who's in control of these markets by looking at the size of the dots, meaning that these are more buy transactions, market buy transactions, than sell transactions in this area here. Okay, so but look where, then this is nothing new. We've been looking at this data for a long time. Look where it dropped here. Okay, that's where price came back up and retested, and we're just not finding enough buyers to go above it. Okay, and the swing up in here, and no one's tangling with it up in this area here. This is where we found some buyers before. These, if they were still in the market, well, likely those are buyers in here that sold just to, trying to get back to break even. Okay, the question is, do we find more buyers now? And we're finding a few. Okay, finding a few. All right, so maybe we'll get our test back up to here now, and we'll see here. But this is what I want to show you on the bigger picture in terms of order flow. And a lot of you footprint traders have been looking at this for years. Is where price not only dropped from, but your high volume nodes in here. Here's one here by the sell side. This is where sellers came in pretty hard in this little area right in here, and we're able to drop price. Now we've come back up and retested that area, and now we need to see if we find more buyers. So we're looking at supply and demand in here based off of the transactions. It's not really order flow, it's the transactions. Now it might be order flow as well, if we turn on the heat map here and start to understand, okay, well, there was a lot of traders on the bid in this area in here. Okay, makes good sense then. Also a lot of traders on the bid on the way down into these areas in here. Now let's just zoom in a little bit, and you can see that look where we're channeling between two areas of very high liquidity. Right, so now I'm really curious. So we're seeing a reaction off of here. We're getting our buyers. All right, so I'm going to jump in on this one, because now I'm going to actually put in 2. and I didn't have my brackets. Okay, let's put in our brackets. And all right, so here's our breakout. Okay, now I'm going to take some profit up here. Okay, and I want to take my brackets off. There we go. Okay, that's where I want to go, and that's where I'll take my first take profit right there. And then I'll put in an OCO for one lot because I've got one runner on here, right? So let's be a seller down here, and let's be a seller up here. Okay, looks like we're going to get taken out. And we'll see here. Yeah, it looks like, to me, it looks like we're going to get stopped out. Question is, do I want to just take the flatten it now, or do I think that we might get some buyers in here? I doubt it. We're stopped out. All right. So in fact, we made nothing out of that, I believe. Yeah, no, this is fine. Okay, so we kind of flattened it on that. Anyway, we took a shot at it and looking for it to trade up to this liquidity and the figure up here at 21,600. Okay, and we got stopped out on the remainder of that position. Anyway, just saw something in here with the buyers. And then the retest in here. Now we knew we got in a little late in here to the party here, but anyway, we were able to get something out of it, and then at least we had the potential for the runner here, but that didn't work out. All right, so anyway, I just wanted to cover in here one thing to start with, is understanding the supply and the demand from the transactions in here. And this is looking backwards, of course, because it's the transactions. And we want to see who's in control of some of these moves. And this is where the sellers came in. Okay. Well, you can see the sellers also they came in on this move below the swing here and moved price down lower. Okay. We can see sellers all over the place, of course. This is where we had a range up in here and we broke. We retested here. And then we broke again. Okay, we retested again up into here where these sellers came in. This is where in your footprint charts, you guys have been seeing this forever. Retesting some of the high volume nodes where the sellers came in and took control of the market. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. That's pretty easy. I don't know if Rob is in here today, but let's see here. This is something that we always have seen, and we've covered it. Rob, you've noticed it some years ago, and we're looking at this as a potential strategy. The one thing that we want to cover in here is not just this one-dimensional view of the transactions. It's understanding this is just one of them. One of the elements that we want to look at and understand these retests into these areas in here. And we've seen this for so long and so many years that we know this works. Here again, look at where did the buyers come in? Well, look at some of the swings in here. In this area in here, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a bounce. So actually, sellers here are now trying to take control of this market and push it below swing here. Now, if we start to see sellers at the bottom edge here again, I will sell. And I will look for the next area to test the buyers down in these areas in here. Okay, so we'll look for that. Now, again, this is just looking at just the transactions in here. We haven't looked at the heat map here. It's the other side of the trade. Who's taking the other side? Well, look at this here. Now we get tremendous insight here. Okay, this right here is the handshake between the aggressive sellers in here moving that market lower, and look at the amount of liquidity in here, and it transacted. Okay, and this is at 21,530. Okay, so now we're looking at supply and demand, and actually let's do this. I had a hard time going through the lesson last Friday just because there's a lot of questions along the way. So now I'm just going to take the transactions off. Okay, this is now looking at the liquidity in here. Okay, now look at the liquidity, and we see the bounce away from it after kind of testing a little bit lower here, because this is where the buyers are here. Okay, they are here. Okay, this is where the sellers are up here. Okay, where are the buyers in the current market? Well, you can see an algo in here working. I mean, you can see them in here, but what about the bigger, higher time frame? Well, they're down here, okay, at 500. So we want to understand the supply and the demand from the passive side, not the aggressive side. And we took the volume dots or the transactions off so that we just look at the liquidity, okay, the order flow, the historic order flow. That's historical order flow here. That's that has unfolded over time, and the current market to the right here. As you see, the order book is always shifting and changing here. Okay, so anyway, look at this liquidity up here. Now, what is the reaction of price? We don't see volume right now. What is the reaction of price to this liquidity? Okay, here come the sellers, right? So I'm interested in this liquidity now. See how they kind of bid up here in the book? I bet you they are going to transact, and I will take a position off of that. Okay, whoops, I got stopped out immediately. All right, so hold on a minute here. Let me put in much wider take profit and stop loss in here. All right. Okay, and I will be a seller here. All right, there we go. All right, I'm in, and now I want to be a buyer. Hold on, I'm going to move it above the swing here. Okay, I want to be a buyer down here at this, in front of this high liquidity down here. Okay, because I am betting now that all of this high liquidity in here that transacted, okay, and we came up into this area of liquidity in here, and we transacted, and we're in a big range right now. Okay, but I am betting though that we are going to see more aggressive sellers hit the bid here and try to trade down to this liquidity here. Okay, and that's where I'll buy it back. Right, so I'm looking for a break of this trading range in here. Will I get it? Well, we'll see. Okay, now let's turn the volume dots back on, and let's look at the context here. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. Okay, so this doesn't look too good. We are trading into very high liquidity here. That's good. I like that. But I'm seeing a lot of buying interest in here. Okay, again, context between supply and demand. Okay, so there it is right there. And now, interestingly enough, I mean, this is a lot of buying in here. Well, here's our pullback right to where that buying came in. Right now, the question is, do we find more demand up here? And this is a battle right now. And look at, we're getting a bit of an answer here. We're finding very few buyers up here, very few buying in this little area right in here altogether. So now the question is, do we see sellers back down here? Not yet. So we got stopped out. Okay. So anyway, that was the bet that we were looking for. And here's our answer in front of us. There is just more demand in here, okay, than there was supply. And this is why price is now going higher. Okay. So anyway, it was a range bound idea here. We got in kind of at the bottom of the range in here, and then we were looking for a break of the range into the high liquidity down below here at 500. All right, so in fact, in retrospect, if I look at this in here, we had the volume dots off when we made this transaction in here. If I look back at this in here, there's a pretty good lesson. Like, we have to understand both the liquidity and the aggressors. Okay, the supply and demand from both the passive and the aggressive demand and supply. Because if we don't look at all of that buying in here, and then we came back down lower, we have more buying back in here. Okay, they're connecting here with sellers. That's true. And that's good. That's good to understand. But there's just more buying, and you can see it in here and in here. A lot of you volume profile traders, when you look at like a weak top or bottom, this is it. You start to see it in here. Now, this is getting interesting here, okay? Because where did all this buying come in? It's in here. Okay, if I see again sellers in here, big selling right here, I will be happy to be another seller, because it means that that demand is no longer here. They're no longer supporting it here. Okay, and you can see this is exactly where we came, and now we're seeing that support here by the aggressors coming right back in. So I don't know, is this making sense to you guys? Boy, there's not a whole lot of people out there today. It is quiet. Yeah, it's a quiet day out there. It's going to be a quiet week. Anyway, let's there's two different things I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at to see if we get more buyers in here again at this level here around this 534, or if I get more sellers down below it. Now, if we get our sellers down below it, this is going to break hard. Okay, so I will be a seller down here at the bottom edge again. If I see tremendous selling come back in here, okay, and I'm not seeing it right now, okay, but I know that anyone who bought in this area in here is going to have to be a seller down below here, and that's when I'd look for it. The same thing we were looking for earlier. Okay, so this is kind of a risky trade, but I'm looking for the commitment on the sell side below the swing here. And let's see if it picks up, because think about it. If you're a buyer in here and there's a lack of buying, okay, the sellers are going to come in and all of these buyers in here are going to be sellers on the way back down. Okay, and then we'll just retest maybe where these buyers came in down in this area here. Okay. All right. Makes sense. Thanks, Brian. Good morning. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Makes sense. All right. Let's see here. Now, again, we're not really seeing anything crystal clear in here at the moment. We're just kind of going through some things. I do like seeing this very high liquidity up here, though. Very, very high. Let's see if the buyers, if they stay in the order book up here. That's one thing. And if the buyers transact into these guys or stay away from it. Looks like they're going to take them on. Looks like it. All right, there is enough demand. Okay, there they go, into it and through it. Okay, now up here, I will take a short here. Okay, and this is a quick scalp because that's quite a bit of demand. That is true, but they've just traded into a ton of supply. So I'm just looking for a pullback, and that's the scalp here. And man, you know, we're getting very close. We're going to get stopped out. Okay, all right. I'll still look for it here. Just one of the things that we always see, especially in the Nasdaq, typically, is when we trade into very high liquidity, we get a pullback. Okay, so we're gonna get it here actually. So let's just take it again, and we have the potential here to also trade back down to our lower level. Here, if we can break this. There's still a lot of demand in here. I'm fighting it. Okay, we got our pullback to our demand in here. So boy, I'm not trading too well here. Even what I'm preaching, I'm not practicing here. I was looking for this pullback. I was looking for a little bit deeper pullback on this, but we have not gotten it yet. Still heavy supply up here. And looks like it wants to go to 600. Yeah, it's going to go. Now, see, these guys are pulling in here, pulling that liquidity away. So very likely we'll go to 600. I'm just going to flatten it now then. Looks like I cannot. Okay, that is odd. Huh. Oh, okay, no, it worked. It worked. All right. Okay. Well, let's zoom back out a bit here. All right. Well, this idea in here was just very simple. That typically we trade into high liquidity, especially in the Nasdaq, and we get a pullback. Almost, we've studied this many times over. This one, there's just more demand that pushed through it. Okay, it looks like we're starting to wane here from the buy side. As you can see, trading into the high liquidity up in here, and now we're starting to see some selling coming in. Still pretty small on the sell side though. Okay, there's a break. All right, and here's our pullback to here. Let's see if we see some demand come in around here, or maybe a little bit lower in here. Dragon, yeah, I use basically. I'll show you in terms of what I look at here, or how I use my higher time frame analysis. Well, first off, this new version of Bookmap is a game changer. Like I said, we've never had the ability to zoom out like this. Now, this is the NASDAQ in here, and this is a continuous contract of the NASDAQ. And we can look at, several days, or, up to like 2 or 3 years now of data, and start to understand these levels in here. Now, the liquidity in here in the NASDAQ is a little different. It's a lot thinner. So this heat map is not showing too much, but we can see some of these areas of liquidity in here, or over here. It's not showing up too well. If we jump over to the ES, it'll look cleaner. So we might just do that in just a minute or two. But what I'll do is look at just very, very simple candlestick charts. For me, this is something that I like to do. I have a daily, an hourly, and a 15-minute chart here, just to get a feel for the price action, and ranges and swings, and just looking at this was FOMC here, move to the downside, and then on Friday we actually traded this back up, and we were looking for this a much bigger move. I was shocked that it actually did it. It traded up to 60.50, and we'd mentioned that heck, it might go all the way up there, and it did. It just seemed kind of unlikely, just because that was like a 170 point move or something, and we were looking for the move up into 6,000, or 59.50, then 6,000, and then it's like webinar ended, but we continue to go back up, and retest. Look again in here on the hourly. Look where it dropped from in here. Right, the sellers picked up in here and dropped it through that range, and that's where we come back and retest, and it just happens to be around the figure as well. In the higher time frames, you will see that, and then look at this pullback in here on the hourly, and this is today's price action. So this pullback is not too convincing in here, I'm sorry. This pullback in here, or this move to the downside, is not too convincing. The pullback actually looks pretty good to me. This is a strong move in here. Look at the 15-minute chart. Then look at the way it's pulled back. Okay. Look here at this little area in here, this little jag back and forth on the 15-minute chart. Again, this is where the buyers came in and started moving price higher. Okay, so that's where we've retested, and that was the same thing we started this webinar off with, starting to understand where these big transactions are taking place, and looking for retests back to those areas. Okay, so it retested right here. Okay, so what about on the sell side? Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, I mean, sell side, this is where it dropped from, is up here. So, it's got a ways to go. Dragon, does that answer your question? Also look at the Trader Map Lite version here. It's a filtered heat map. All right, guys, let's see here. I'm really curious about this here. It looks like our idea of getting below all of this buying in here is starting to pan out. I don't know. Should we take a shot at it here? Let's do it. And let's see here if we can get something, do some trade management around it as well. Okay, not just do live forward-looking analysis in here. All right, so let's just zoom in here and we'll take a quick look at it. All right, so we're looking for some exhaustion up here, and there it is. Okay, so up, got in a little too early, and I'm going to put it above the swings up in here. Okay, and now we're finding our buyers now. Okay, a little late. This is what I was looking at here, but the buyers came in right back up above it. Sellers we still may get them. They still may come in. And it really has to pick up down here. Right where we got in. This is where they really need to pick up here. And we'll see. All right, sellers, they can take charge of the market right here. Okay, and then look for the move into this liquidity and lower. We can look for a bigger move out of this actually. Let's see. See great info. Where could I get this version of Bookmap? You have Global Plus. I'll have it for you. I'll have more information for you tomorrow on that. This is really kind of hot off the the press here. Okay, so now you see some of the selling just starting to pick up a little bit, but this is the bottom edge. Okay, so we did get our sellers to pick up here below the 50 level. Now they're starting to pick up. Okay, this is good. This is what we were kind of looking for. Now I'm going to move my take profit though down in front of this high liquidity down here. Okay, that's where I'm looking for the sellers to take this, and that's a pretty that's kind of a lofty goal. And why? Well, look at your volume profile in here, or look at all of your price action in here, and it's been chopping around in this whole range in here. And I am asking for sellers to come in here and then drop it back down into this high liquidity down here. That's pretty lofty idea here. It is very thinly traded down here. Okay, but what I'm looking for out of this, and it's still not panning out. We're still finding buyers here. I'm looking for all of these buyers to have to cover and taking a shot at it. Okay, and it should be a really nice move back down here if it can get down there. Okay, if we can flip these buyers here, and it's not looking good again. Let's see though. Let's see. We got the buyers kind of worried here, and if they exhaust out up here and we find a lack of buyers again up in here, we're going to find our sellers. Okay, now this is where, again, context. Buyers came in here. Okay. Do we find more buyers in here? Again, are they still buying at the bottom edge down here? Okay, if we find a lack of buyers and there's no more demand in here from these aggressors, we'll find the sellers be able to slip below it here. And then all of these buyers in here will need to cover. That's what I'm looking for here. This should be a beautiful move if it unfolds. And see how they're battling it in here. And we don't have too much clarity right now. This is trading from the inside out of the range. I'm kind of right in the middle of this area here, and starting to look at the selling pressure and to trade back down here, and then to break it. It's a little trickier than trading from the outside back in. But we're looking for a bigger move out of it. And like I said, it's kind of lofty idea to look for a move back down here. And these guys pulled their liquidity down here as well. Still finding demand. Yep, still finding demand. All right, it's been a pretty horrible day so far. All right, traded into high liquidity here, and these are big volume dots, so they may be able to trade back up above this high liquidity transaction in here, and they're able to. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop here in the Nasdaq. I wanted to show you the Nasdaq. I did not show it to you on Friday. Let's jump back to the ES though, same thing here. Let me zoom out here in the ES. You'll be able to see a bit more liquidity than you would in the NQ. Oh no, I'm sorry. Is this the right one? I think that's it. Yeah, you can see here, this is back to December 1st is right around in here. Yeah, December 1st is here. So you can see the weeks divided by the overnight or the weekend sessions in here. I took some positions earlier in here in the ES. Okay, based off the same things that we've been looking at in terms of supply and demand. And we have stops and icebergs here as well. All right, let's take a look at this ES here. Well, this is where the sellers came in right in here. Same ideas we're looking at in that NQ, and we're trading into it. I do not see high liquidity in here though. Okay. But is trading into this zone here where it dropped from. This is where the sellers took control. Now they're coming back in. Okay, this is looking better to break now. Let's see here. This is kind of a bit of a toxic move here by the sellers here, moving away, trying to move away from this area in here, definitely moving away from this zone up in here, and then being able to trade it back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, here's our pullback. Question is, are we going to start trending and break the volume profile structure here? Well, I'll take that. I'll take that trade. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. After this selling in here, okay, retest, probably retest back to about here. And then I'm looking for the, there's the retest. I'm looking for the sellers, though, to come back in. Okay, because this is some pretty heavy selling in here. Okay, and they traded into high liquidity here. Okay, so sellers are in control of this move so far. And we do not see buyers back up above this liquidity here. All right, so now we're looking for sellers down here, and then we're looking for a break of the bottom range. Okay, there's some exhaustion. Finding some buyers. Okay, they retested this high volume node here. Transaction. Looks like they want to go up to this one here, and that's where our stop is. Not a good place to put the stop. All right, we're stopped out. Okay, so retrace the whole way back up to where these sellers came back in. Okay, look at the volume bars down in here. Okay, some pretty heavy selling. That's what got us interested, thinking that this range in here would hold. That we would not find buyers to come back up and retest back up into these areas in here. Okay, but we did find them. Okay, and you can see it in the volume dot sizes as well as the bars here. Zoom out a little bit more. Huge wall of liquidity in front of 6,000 up here. Okay, that looks great. A bit of a stop run there. Much, just 50, 52. Just a bad day, a bad week to trade. Yeah, rainy days. I was just so excited. And guys, like again, this is not like winners or losers. Like we had great winners on Friday, and some some losers today. Winners or losers, like you know, the what we're doing in here is we can outline some strategies, no problem. But I just want to go through supply and demand, and then we'll take some positions in here just to so we have some kind of skin in the game. Now it is demo and it's not a trading recommendation, just so you know. And then we can, once we have a position in here, we can manage it. How do you want to manage it? And that's a whole nother side that we can bring in terms of the education. All right, interesting. All right, looks like it that these buyers are interested here on taking this up into this high liquidity and making the transaction into the sellers here. We're at the top of the range in here since what, 10:30. So and we can see many areas in here. Look at this big sell up in here and the retest back up into these areas in here. Okay, there's a nice little stop run right there, 143. $33. It's 29. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm filtering out some of it in here. So that's why it is changing. It's an iceberg there, 32, 35. Let's take a look at our candlesticks just to get a feel for what's going on in here. I mean, this little node in here is what we're reacting to. And this is now our third attempt up in here. We saw it in Bookmap, but this one looks pretty strong in here, coming back up to test the. We've come up here 1, 2, well, 3, 4 times basically. So we have the potential now to break it and then trade back up into maybe some of these areas or swings up in here. I would look for probably back to about 6,000 here if we get enough buyers up in here. We know that that's where the liquidity is, up in front of the 6,000 area as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the if Rob's in here today, but see where the buyers came in again here. And we're looking to see if we get more support above it, and more demand from the aggressors above it. We had a little bit in here, but not much. Okay, so now if we do, again, if we get our sellers in here, and it looks like it to me, it really looks like I'm not seeing much demand up in here from the aggressors. Okay? I'm just not seeing a whole lot of supply from the sellers yet here in the transactions here. Okay, but look at the buyers up in here again. Okay, no one's interested in buying up here. Okay, and that's where I'll be a seller. No one's interested in buying. Okay, well then I'll be a seller. Trade back down into the range. This will be more of a kind of a outside in trade. And starting to find a few buyers in here now. And then there's a lack. All right, sellers, let's see it. Let's see what you got then. Are you going to sell? We're not finding buyers in here. Are we going to find some sellers? Some high liquidity coming in, transacting into it right now. Transacting into it here as well. Let's just cancel this. Actually, looks like we're finding them. Looks like we're going to get our breakout here. Okay. And let's see here. Up here, this was our like third, fourth time up in here. Typically, these work. There's still more demand up in here after testing many times. We look for the break. Okay, there's a pullback there. All right, if we get a little more demand in here, all right, we'll go long. Okay, so we're just looking for the move back up into this high liquidity up here. This is where the buyers took control. And this is our multiple attempts up here. And we just can't catch a break today. Let's see if we get our more demand come back in. They're trying, but it doesn't look too convincing here. They're back in the range. Dennis, yeah, as Aloise had pointed out, yeah, you can trade through your Trader Map Lite, no problem. All right, let's see if we get our buyers back up above this little area right here. And back up to here. This would be more of a pullback to the bottom, or back to the bottom of this range in here. And then we're looking for our demand to come back in. And target is high liquidity. Let's see it. Buyers right here is where we need them to pick it up. And we can get back up to here. And then we already know that the auction up here, we found buyers. So we'd look for them to try to extend it and hit that high liquidity now. Okay, not very convincing buying. Back up. Let's see it though. We seem to, it's just kind of odd behavior in here. Like we find the sellers move it and then they just kind of dry up, and then we find buyers at the, kind of move it back up, and then at the top edge we just find them just lacking the interest in buying. That's why I was looking for that move. Kept on looking again and again for it in that NQ. Was looking for the because of that lack of buying at the top edge, that we'd find the sellers come in and hammer it. Okay, well, everything that we know, this looks like it should be breaking out, and we're getting interest again here up at the top, and this is traded up here multiple times, and we still have some demand up here. Okay, now we need to see the follow through on that. It's even a little cup and handle in here, as you can see. Here's your cup, here's your retest, your little handle here. We got another retest though coming back up. Let's see if we do, and if we get a big green dot in here, we'll jump in again, and then we'll trade it up into the high liquidity and dump it off. Yeah, just not finding them yet. Let's take a look again at our higher time frame here. I still like it. We've got these shorts in here that can get squeezed as well, so it's looking good. All right, here we go. All right, we'll jump in again, and we'll look for a move into that high liquidity. Okay, this is where we're looking for our breakout. Okay, we've retested here multiple times and we're still finding buyers here. Okay, we're getting our transactions up in here, our demand. So now we're looking for them to meet supply up here. In fact, we can probably move this to the figure here right in front of it. I'm going to move my stops up. Okay, thinking that this is where that demand came in here. So this is where I'm looking for those buyers to support it again. Let's see if they do. And we're seeing a bit of demand come back in again there. And now we need to see a lot more. And boy, this could be another nice squeeze. This was the squeeze we were looking for, the downside in the NQ, and just didn't get it. But let's see if we get it here now in the ES. It's looking pretty good. Okay, in fact, if we get enough buying up again here, boy, that's where we can even enter another position. And again, this is not trade recommendation, and we're just kind of showing you in general, like how to look at some of these areas in here in terms of the supply, the demand, the market structure, and then also wrap it around a position or a strategy, just so you have an idea in here, and understand that this is something that you can look for into your way of trading as well. Let's see it now. We've got this squeeze here. We have not seen the stop run yet. I'm looking for it. Okay, and all right, well, let's just do it. I'm looking for the stop run here. So again, a buyer in here, and we'll take now my first take profit down here, and I'll take my other one down to 6,000 here. Okay, my average cost went up to this 92 area here. Still have not taken anything off yet, and we've got 3 positions on now. And we're looking for the squeeze. We have not gotten the squeeze yet. Okay, off from these guys in here. In fact, these are stops on the way down. And let's see if we can get no stops here. Let's see if we can get a little higher here on that buy side, and then a squeeze up into our high liquidity. You can just kind of feel that squeeze here is just ready to go. So let's see it. Just trigger those stops here. We're ending our session here really soon, and then the European session ends. So it's going to be an interesting little moment here. Order flow usually, or the price action picks up here. So larger players doing different things at the end of their session. Okay, the heat map's getting a little blown out here, but you can see that this little bluish area in here, if we zoom in a little closer, you can see that the passive demand coming in here, and the sellers traded into it. So now again, we're looking for our aggressive demand here to trade back up to the top. Okay, so the transactions were made in here. Now we're looking for the aggressors to trade it and meet the sellers up here. And again, it looks good. It keeps looking good here. Just need to see the follow through. No stop runs here. So these sellers here can get upended very, very easily. Just need to see that squeeze here. And it looks like we're going to get it. Let's see the squeeze, guys. Let's see it. Now we're starting to hit some stops. Okay, so let's see the stop run here. There we go. See the stops here, 28. Should see a lot more than that. This should be a good one. And no one buying. Interesting. We had an iceberg. We ran into a couple icebergs up here. Okay, coming right back up. Pretty horrible order flow action here. This though, again, right here, you can see it. You know, look at these areas in here. We're not making it up. Look for those pullbacks to where they came in. Okay, an iceberg here on the buy side, so that's good. And let's see if these buyers I don't even care if they're buying at the top edge here. I just want them to start to trigger some stops into this high liquidity here. There should be a nice one that should move us up into those areas here. Not just 28. We're looking for like 280. All right, so our first target's been hit. Okay, still looking for the squeeze. Okay, so 51 stops here. Okay, 54. Come on, let's get the run here. Uh, Rainy days. What do I think is going on in here? Yeah, sorry guys, I kind of missed some of the questions over here. Yes, you can use your copy trader, Dennis. It's called multi-account in Bookmap. And yeah, I mean, I just think I don't know what to say, like on this kind of price action here, like just kind of muted. We see that there's buying support, but it's been kind of muted. And I don't know, like, you know, just reading it objectively, we seem to get back up into these areas, and then we find a kind of a lack of buyers. But we do see the support uh, or the demand from these buyers in these areas. They seem to buy back up to the areas, top of the range, and then they don't really break it though. And in fact, that phenomena, rainy days, is something that we've been seeing on higher time frames, like much higher time frames, for a while now. And that's why, in my opinion, what I can fathom from the FOMC and the big drop was it was precisely due to this. Was that people are interested in buying the dips, buying the dips, buying the dips, but then price gets up into these higher areas and no one's buying. No one is interested in buying more. And then you know, we get some sellers to be able to move it, and they have an excuse there with FOMC, and there you go. All right, guys, I'm going to close this out. I still believe in it, but we got to end the webinar. And we're just going to take our profits on that one and call it a day. I still think it's going to do it, but let's just reduce the risk here. And it started to trade up into here, but and we got some stops. You see 85 and 44 here, but yeah, we'll end with this here. That idea of the here, look on the daily in here. This is kind of what I was looking at here on the daily, was all of this kind of range up in here. You know, we'd see these days that the buyers would come in and kind of bring it back up to the top of the range, bring it back up to the top of the range. Here they broke it. I was actually away on this day, but this looks more like maybe some sort of massive stop run here. And then our FOMC, and then this, you know, huge drop. I mean, all of this price action in here was very muted in terms of the buying volume. You know, this kind of activity, this is what we were actually looking for earlier in the NQ. Okay, that if we don't find the buyers back up at the top edge, we're not going to break out. And if that is the case, we should find the sellers at the bottom edge in here and break it. And that was our inside out trade, which, you know, didn't work out at all in the NQ today. But anyway, this is on the higher time frame in the ES, and you know, the same idea looked like it was just kind of happening in here as well, to me. Okay. And then that's that. All right. Well, Voltron, it depends on your day with the price action. You know, we kind of jumped into let me show you here. This is something I just love now. This is what we saw on Friday. Go back Friday, and it was just hitting us over the head, right? That we had this huge move down, okay, from your FOMC, move up into high liquidity in here. We see the move back down, and here's the move into high liquidity on the way down, on the way down, on the way down, And just getting filled, finding buyers on the bid with the passive buying, okay, again and again and again, okay, in these areas. So because of that, we know we found the buyers on the way down. Did we find the aggressive buyers though? And we didn't until Friday. We did, and right in here, and this is the cash open. Okay, look at that. This is what we were looking for earlier. For the sellers in the NASDAQ, we're looking for this, and for them to drive it away from this whole range in here. Okay, we're looking for them to pick it up in here, and we were in here in these positions in here looking for that move. You know, it's much easier to wait for the move to unfold and to look for this type of buying combined with this kind of buying on the passive side. And when you see this in here, it's a powerful move. And we were looking for, we took our profits up into these areas up in here. And we're looking for, heck, maybe saying like, all right, this is where the high liquidity is here on the higher time frame, and it hit it. I mean, this was a huge move. So from down here on up, here's 5,900, and here's 60.50, 150 point move in the morning, basically, or before the afternoon, or I'm sorry, before 1 p.m. at least. Is a pretty big move. So that's why I was kind of hesitant. It's like, really, is it gonna make it up here? And it did, and it's due to all of this powerful buying. Okay? So these are the two things we're looking for. Okay, this combo, and I think we got ahead of ourselves in the NASDAQ. That we didn't. We were kind of looking for that move earlier, and we just didn't. We were anticipating it and just didn't quite see it, and for that reason, we'll take a step back, reassess this, and then tomorrow we'll go through it again and we'll look for it. If we don't see it, then we'll stay away from it. All right. Yeah, sounds good. Excellent, Voltron. Good to see you guys in here. We'll catch up tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow, and then tomorrow though is going to be a very light day, so it's a good Q&A session. I don't know what we're going to see in terms of price action, but we'll probably a good lesson day tomorrow. We'll see, but we'll see what the market gives us. But we'll be here, and it's a shortened day. I think at 1:15 East Coast time, the markets will be closed for the Christmas holiday. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up on Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.